Steph, you guys kept the clean sheet at home, took all 3 points. That was the first time this year that you won while keeping a clean sheet. Just how does that feel for the team confidence-wise?
I didn't know that, but it's good. It's good all the way around. Obviously, to get a clean sheet, most importantly, to get the 3 points. But I think in the fashion that it happened is most important. You know, you can keep a clean sheet and win games, and it doesn't really tell the whole story. But I think we were in control for the most part. We scored early on. Obviously, that helped us, but we didn't step off the pedal. I think we created a decent amount of chances. Weren't afraid to pull the trigger. And then later on in the game, even before the red card came, we were able to maintain a decent amount of possession. So those are all really good positive things to take from that game, and then hopefully they'll do our confidence well, and we need to carry that into the next couple games.
Are there any particular challenges for a goalkeeper when you try to face a stretch of 3 matches in 9 days? Mental, physical?
Mental, it's, you know, you just gotta really shut off when you go home and really try to let your brain relax and recover. And I think physically we just want to make sure that we don't go too crazy on the training field. I'd argue that we probably train the hardest during the week in trainings. Maybe because we don't cover that distance, so we can go a little harder in training sessions. But there's a certain point during the week when you know you have to start cutting back and making sure that your legs are fresh for distribution. You got to bounce in your step, you know, because everything is very explosive that we do. So you want to be ready to go. So when you only have 3 days, then obviously it limits what we can do out here, and making sure that those energy levels are rebounding quickly from the last game and that you're ready to go.
Chris Wondolowski has a way of just finding the back of the net over the course of his career. What goes into shutting down a guy like Wondo?
Awareness of where he's at. I think he's got that striker's nose, and he drifts in behind defenders and makes them forget about him. And he kind of is that sneaky, even though he's not a small guy. He's a sneaky guy that kind of gets a lot of tap-ins on the back end after a save or after a deflection or what may have you. But that's a skill, and I think that's one of the skills that he certainly has and has allowed him to have such a good career. Obviously knocking at the door of a major milestone there, and very dangerous. Like I said, he can shoot from distance as well, but I think the most important thing for us is just awareness of where he's at and making sure that we're always aware and have someone on him.
San Jose really struggling at the bottom of the table. Seem to be some issues going on internally. How do you guys approach going into a game like that, where 3 points, given your situation, is very important, and there seems to be a good opportunity to get that result?
Cautious. I think still, this isn't the EPL where you have a team that's in the bottom half playing against the Chelsea, and Chelsea can go into cruise control. This is a league of parity where, even way back when we were just talking about Chivas out on the field, Chivas was, generally speaking, one of the not so good teams in the league. But did that mean you had a guaranteed 3 points? No, by no means. You have to be very, very careful. Those teams, for the most part, actually don't have anything to lose. So maybe they cheat a little bit more up top. They're a bit more adventurous, a bit more aggressive. So that makes it for a very, very difficult game. So by no means, just because they're behind us, does that mean that we can take them lightly. They're looking for a kickstart to give them another chance in the season as well. Every game is going to be a battle, so I don't expect anything less from this one.
If you guys get a result on Wednesday, it'll be 5 unbeaten, whether it's a draw or a win. Does that start to feel like the start of these runs that you guys have kind of made your trademark these last 2 years?
Honestly, regardless, it doesn't matter. You don't need a big run that carries you all the way through. You need results. That's the big thing right now is that a big run would be nice, but if we do have a result that doesn't go our way, we need to rebound quickly and get going again. So it's about getting those points, and we were able to get a couple of games down a row with unbeaten. It'd be nicer to have a couple of games that are W's, but it's one game at a time. Honestly, I don't think you look at okay, if you keep this going and then we keep the next going, keep the next going. It's got to be full focus on this game and these 3 points, and then it's to the next 3. And if it so happens that we can string together more and more 3-pointers and call it a streak, then great. But points is all that matter right now.